that the way the bill was written had disproportionately handicapped many of them and created costs that we had to look at in a different way. Didn't have an opportunity to vote except in the committee, the Ways and Means Committee, to send the bill to the floor. But as people know, what transpired next was we didn't vote on that bill in the Senate. However, part of the whole process for me goes back to the other bill that caused a short walkout last session, and that was the Student Success Act, which I was intimately involved in, wandered all over the state talking to people, and because of that, I was not as involved with the carbon bill. But one of the things that came up for me, and it's a driving factor in my entire life, was talking to hundreds and hundreds of students in all parts of the state, from the rural parts to the urban areas and everything in between. And in those conversations, it was clear to me that in the 16 years since I left being a principal at a high school, the atmosphere in schools have changed. And that one of the big atmospheric changes has been the amount of anxiety in young people. The kids across the state were extremely anxious, and one of the main issues has to do with our society's understanding of global warming, and it came up in almost every conversation around the state. And so from my perspective, there is an urgency to move on and get something done. And I will tell you that from the people I talked to, there was never a real discussion about the goals of the previous bill, and what you'll see in 19 is it continues to have those same goals emphasized, same expectations, same speed to get down to reductions of 80% of the 1990 numbers by 2050. It just goes about it in a very different way, and you're going to hear from the people as we go through this bill, the changes that we have made, which I think clearly articulate the needs that rural parts of Oregon have. We are at the epicenter of much of the global changing stuff. If you've looked at my legislative history, you recognize that ocean acidification and a lot of other kinds of issues with respect to the changing events that are happening in our ocean, the erosion of our beaches, all of those things are directly tied to some of the same conversations that we're having. And so it was imperative from my perspective, it's the reason I got engaged and involved during this shorter session, to start having a conversation that lets at least most of those young people around our state who are concerned, give them an understanding that, yes, the adults in the state do care, are interested, and in my conversations at the very end of the session with lots of industry and other people, I felt the same was true of many of them. So I think there is a pathway. I think that I'm not sure that we're done yet. We'll find out. This is why we're having this hearing. But I do believe that we are set up to have a very, very lively discussion in a short period of time, and I hope that we can move forward. It won't be everything everybody wants, but I believe it will be in the right direction. So thank you for